The Parliamentary Committee on Finance into the rather sharp rise in fuel prices in the country shows that the National Treasury misappropriated funds meant to stabilize fuel prices, therefore leading to the spike. The findings have now put the public exchequer that are cited insufficiencies in the Petroleum Development Fund as the reason behind the removal of subsidies on fuel on the spot for its role in the rise that is at record levels. David Mudoka has the details.
It is not something that you make a decision as a person on your own.
Members of Parliament sitting in the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning were on Wednesday treated to a game of musical chairs by Treasury Permanent Secretary Julius Moya when they sought to find out why Kenyans were not cushioned from the spike in fuel prices despite funding the Petroleum Development Levy meant to stabilize fuel prices. The levy, in which Kenyans are taxed 5 shillings and 40 cents per litre of fuel, was instead, according to fresh findings, directed to funding projects outside their intended purpose, including projects in the State Department of Infrastructure as well as in the Ministry of Energy.
It is also very, very clear and distinct. Unless you are telling us there are facilities being done under the Ministry of Energy for oil testing, and are there facilities being built under the Ministry of Infrastructure, then we'll be at peace.
This prompting a heated debate during the sitting as MPs put PS Moya to task to justify the apparent misappropriation of a fund that, had it been put into good use, would have seen the price of fuel remain at least 7 shillings cheaper.
It's like the father of the house taking away the money for buying food for the children to lead to their uncle money for going to buy a shaba somewhere.
We ought to know specifically how much money was sent to energy and how much money was sent to infrastructure, so that we can make a recommendation on our report to State Department to refer that money to you so that we can stabilize the prices.
The Petroleum Development Fund is among the biggest winners in the Petroleum Development Act of 1991, which saw up to 25.9 billion shillings raised in the financial year 2020 to 2021, only for the committee, led by Homa Bay MP Gladys Wanga, to learn that 18 billion of the 25.9 billion shillings went to infrastructure. Only 5 billion shillings were used to subsidize the cost of fuel in August, and when the Ministry of Petroleum and Mining requested another 5 billion shillings to cushion Kenyans in September, the taps had run dry.
So if in 1 litre of petrol you have 5 shillings and 40 cents for PDL and you have 18 shillings for road maintenance, why would you use all the ones for road maintenance and come back to the one for stabilization just because the law says common facilities and still use it?
There are things to consider. You've got different departments to consult. You've got the tax side, you've got the law side, you've got the PPP side. I mean, just to make sure that we don't come up with a rash decision that will be faulted.
But while the officials from the Exchequer were at pains to absolve themselves from the blame, the Finance Committee is now in a race against time to make recommendations to the petition challenging the fuel prices, as well as draft a bill comprising of legislative interventions into the fuel price crisis. This follows the looming lapse of the 14 days issued by National Assembly Speaker Justin Muturi to the committee to table a report before the whole House on ways to reverse the situation. The 14-day period lapses on Tuesday. David Mudoka, TV 47.
Well, still